TV mantap.
Prof, at 1:10 we start.
Okay, no problem.
Assalamualaikum Prof. Prof Izam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Apa kabar Prof?
Siapa ini?
Selastri Prof, yang WA Prof terus.
Ibu Dr. Selastri, apa kabar? Baru bertemu kali kita
iya.
ya.
Sehat Prof?
Alhamdulillah sehat. Selalu kita WhatsApp saja kan.
Iya, ini peserta dari Malaysia luar biasa nih Prof. Terima kasih telah memviralkan ya Prof.
Alhamdulillah saya war-warkan dalam grup-grup pelajar.
Iya.
Berapa orang daripada Malaysia tu?
Ada sekitar berapa? Ada lebih lah dari 20 Prof.
Alhamdulillah. Syukur.
Iya.
Mereka present nanti ke?
Gimana Prof?
Mereka akan present ke dalam parallel session?
Iya Prof. Mohon maaf ya Prof kalau ada kekurangannya nih Prof.
Bagus ini Ibu Selastri, semua bagus nih. Alhamdulillah semua berjalan lancar.
Amin. Oke Prof, terima kasih banyak.
Besok sambung lagi kan sampai hari Ahad?
Iya Prof. Iya sampai hari Ahad Prof. Ada beberapa keynote lagi dari luar.
Ibu Selastri kerja kuat nih.
Ini nanti nih kalau Bu Dewi ini boleh Sari, boleh Dewi, boleh Sari Dewi seperti yang kemarin Prof dibilang.
Bagaimana?
Panggil Dewi boleh, panggil Sari boleh, Sari Dewi juga boleh Prof.
Iya.
Kemarin Prof tanya Dewi.
Saya tanya dia mau panggil bagaimana mau panggil dia Sari Dewi. Kalau di Malaysia ni panggilannya ibu ya.
Iya, oke Prof. Oke, kita tunggu beberapa menit lagi ya Prof ya.
Oke, tak apa. Ibu Sari Dewi.
Yes, Prof, we could start.
Books tu sudah 12 ya. Kalau tahun ini campur semua sekali. Books. Itu yang belum update lagi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
For coming and joining this conference. First of all, I would like to say thank you, the Honorable Rector and Vice Rector, Dean and Vice Dean Faculty of Education, Universitas Negeri Padang, the Honorable, the Chairman of Committee, all professors, lecturers, dear participants and presenters. In this great opportunity, I would like to introduce you one of best keynote speakers from Malaysia. His name, Professor Madya Dr. Muhammad Izam bin Haji Muhammad Hamzah. And in this great opportunity, he already with us in this room, and his area of specializations on educational administrations, change management in educations, educational planning and design of in-service training. And his research interests on change management in education, learning organization, leadership in education, and educational policy. Okay, she also authors of some journals, books, and book chapters, and already won some medals such as bronze and the gold one. Wow, it's really amazing, Prof. You have so many rewards.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me listen to our professor for his presentation this afternoon. Time is yours.
Thank you, moderator, Ibu Sari Dewi.
Yes, Prof.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And selamat sejahtera, selamat siang. Kalau di Malaysia, selamat tengah hari. Okay, kepada semua. My keynote address is, the title is Total Quality Management and Digital Leadership Approach in Educational Management. It's a quite very heavy topics that I have to cover, but anyway, I would like to share with everybody in this webinar, in this conference, that today around the world, the education system is undergoing various changes to make it more quality and towards digitalization. So everybody is saying digitalization. So the impact, this is because the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on education system around the world, urging educators, including us, to manage change effectively and continue to seek desired quality improvement strategies. So the field of education today is increasingly challenging and complex. It's much more complex than before, because educational institution in higher learning should always be prepared for all the changes and challenges in the digital world of education. Please back to this. So what is total quality management, or famously known as TQM? It's not a new thing, but anyway, we go back to what Demings and Juran, the gurus of quality management, says. TQM or total quality management, atau in Malay, quality pengurusan menyeluruh. But I would like to say TQM is more familiar with this. It's a management framework. Okay, it's a management framework based on the belief that an organization can be long-term success, a long-term success, not a short-term success, by having all its members in the organization, from the lower level staff, lower rank staff, to the highest ranking executive. If in a university is a rector and all the deputy rectors, focusing on improving quality and delivering customer satisfaction. It's not a one-part execution or implementation. It's the whole organization have to involve in that. That is why it's called total quality management. Everybody in the organization, from the lower rank to the highest rank, it is totally have to involve with the total quality management. So total quality management is defined as continuous effort by the management as well the employees, in particular organization. So if we know that one happy, satisfied customer or our student bring more than 10 new customer or student along with him or her, whereas one disappointed individual will spread bad word of mouth and spoil several existing as well as potential customer students. So that is why we have to involve everybody because sometimes one part of the organization bring bad words. The whole organization will involve with that negative aspect. So a core definition of TQM describe a management approach, okay, to involve and process everybody in the organization. So next slide, please. So total quality management framework is the next slide. Okay. So in TQM effort, all members of an organization participate in improving processes. We know that in management, the process is important because in the process, we have the input, we have the transformation, and we also the output or the output. So in process, there is 3 phases, okay, 3 levels that we have to encounter, and the products. The student is also our product. Yes, this is the services. So the university, the school are all a service industry. We give service to our customer, to our student, and the culture in which they work. Like Aristotle said, quality is not an act; it is a habit. Okay, because quality, when Aristotle explained it, his favorite quote from Aristotle: "We are what we are repeatedly do." Excellence is not an act but an habit. So we have to do it every time. Okay. Once we practice it, it will become a habit. Okay. And eventually everything will become a highest quality. So you have to do it the first time. We have to do it right every time and all the time. That is quality management. So what is the benefit of TQM? Firstly is to improve the quality. Benefit of TQM, quality in the organization will be improved. Because why? Because we adapt to changes. We adapt to what the environment is doing to us, and we have to adapt to all the changes in the environment. So basically, to improve quality, then the first point is the benefit is to eliminate what are the defects or the waste in an organization. The second is the employee participation. That is to improve employee morale. So because it's not a one-man show in an organization, you have to involve everybody to improve the quality management. The third one is teamwork. Everybody works better as a team. Okay, everybody works better and give a full commitment when they work as a team. Okay, it strengthen the competitive position and loyalty to the organization. That is why we have to use the TQM, because it enhances the teamwork. The fourth point is internal and external customer satisfaction. So if the quality is improved, our customer in education, we know that our customer is the stakeholders. That is the students, the parents, and the scholarship, the organization that gives the scholarship will increase the productivity or the customer satisfaction. And then the fifth one is the productivity, the graduates, the student from the school or the graduate from the university. We have a higher productivity and increased communication. And the last point is the profitability, and it will enhance market image of a university, the image, the corporate image, or the image to make it the university more profitable. That will encourage more students to go to that university. Okay, can I go to the next slide, please? Okay. In TQM, I think everybody will familiar with the term Kaizen from Japanese. That's now Prof. Nurhizirah Gisti Tuati just said also Kaizen. In TQM, Kaizen means continuous improvement in Japanese. It focuses on process. It focuses on the process. Okay, It focuses on the process over the long term rather than simply emphasizing short-term financial gain. So in Japanese, they are doing the Kaizen because the Kaizen will enhance. I think you missed one. I think you missed 2 slides before this. Can you move forward? Before this, move backward. I think we skip a few slides. It's okay. All right. So in Kaizen, TQM prescribe a series of ways for organization to accomplish this with the pathway to successful improvement, centered on the data and effective communication. Data and effective communication. So in Kaizen, what we do is we look into cooperation and commitment, and stand to contrast to approach the use of radical changes or top-down index to achieve transformation. So Kaizen is a philosophy that sees improvement in productivity as a gradual and methodological process. It's a gradual process because it will instill from the strategy, from the data, from the effective communication strategy. We know that if we want to improve the strategy, we have to know the SWOT analysis, the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunity, and also the challenges or the threat in the organization. And the data, we have to use that data. If we already have the data, we have to use that data to improve our quality in the organization. And all this comes with an effective communication. Okay, the next slide, please. Yeah. The slide is already in order already. So the famous person who introduced the total quality management is William Edward Deming. Okay, he's an American engineer, a statistician, a professor, and an author and a management consultant. So he is the one that goes to Japan and teach all the Japanese how to do the total quality management. And now the Japanese is already an industrial country and a first world and industry country. So the first, there is 14 points in for total quality management. I think some of our organization have already implement all these, but we are looking just to glance through so that we know what is the total quality management. The first one is to create constancy of purpose for improving product and service. To create a constant purpose toward improvement, a constant purpose. So when you have a constant purpose, so you have to know you will improve the quality in the long term. Okay. And the second one is to adopt the new philosophy. A new philosophy is a cornerstone to transformation. You have to have a new philosophy so that you have to transform to a new organization, a good organization. So you have to put what in the new philosophy? Your customer needs first, the customer needs, rather than to react to competitive pressure. Sometimes we are under pressure because we tend to encounter the what is the surrounding is pressuring us, but we forget that the student or the customer is number one that we have to address. So and design product and service to meet those needs. So be prepared for major change in the way how our organization is done. It's not about managing. It's also about leading. So in the new philosophy, you have to lead the organization. Okay. Number 3, the cease dependency on inspection or to achieve quality. Everybody knows when we are being audited, we have the pressure atau tekanan terhadap apa yang akan kita diauditkan. It's a pressure lah, being audited internally or externally. If UKM usually 4 times the audit, the internal audit of the SIRIM, the external audit, and the MQA Malaysian Qualification Framework audit. So it's quite taxing. I also, before this, I'm also head of quality management, very taxing for the whole year, addressing the audit. So, but Edward Deming says, cease dependent on inspection to achieve quality. So do it just like Aristotle said, do it as an habit. It's a habit. Number 4, end of the practice of awarding business on price alone. Don't think about the price. You should minimize total cost by working on single supplier, meaning that okay, you have to have a good supply of input to improve your organization. Number 5, to improve constantly and forever every process for planning, production, and service. There's no way you do quality management before you have to plan. You have to do the planning first. In the management, the first thing you have to do is planning. So you have to do a good planning. Fail to plan is planning to fail. If you don't plan well, so the organization will affect the management overall. So number 6 is institute training on the job. This is what Deming says. The on-job training or OJT is training that deliver while individual is performing tasks in their occupation. So the best way of training is the on-job training. Number 7 is to adopt and institute leadership. Okay, leadership is the aim of helping others in the organization to do better, to increase the leadership. Number 8, drive out fear. You don't encourage people with your in Malay we call ugutan atau ancaman. Kalau you tak buat ni, you akan kena begini. Jadi kita we don't instigate fear to people in our organization. Encourage two-way communication. You talk and you listen to them. That is the better way. So number 9, break down barriers between staff. This one in the Japanese organization, there's no barrier, meaning that the top management can go down to the ground and work as a team. But in some organization, there's a great barrier between the top management and the lower management. We should break down the barriers so that we can listen to what the bottom management are doing and what are their problems. And then number 10, this is usually happen in universities and organizations. A lot of slogan, exhaustion. Exhaustion is a forced way of doing things. We are being forced to do something. In academic way, we should have academic freedom of doing it. Okay, don't force, don't exhaustion people or put target to certain workforce. You have to do. You have the KPI. You have the target. Yes, we know we have KPIs, key performance indicators, and we have target. But don't totally concentrate on all that. But we are human. When we are human, there's things that we have to consider. 11, eliminate numerical quotas for the workforce. Sometimes you put 10%, 80%. We are human. 10% out of how many? Kalau 50% of 10 people is 5 people. Sometimes we put numerical quotas and numerical goals for management, and we cannot catch up with all the numerical goals and numerical quotas. 12, remove barrier that rob people of pride. Give people pride for their work. In total quality management, give people ganjaran, give them best workers of the month, the best lecturer, the best teacher, so that they will know that they have pride for their work. Okay, and eliminate the annual rating and medicine. Now universities all are annual rating. We are catching and what is our rating and time higher education and all that. And then when we got frustrated when our universities goes down in the rating, and then we push our staff so that we can increase the rating. Okay, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's pressure us, and it will akan menyebabkan kita lari daripada tujuan. from our own purpose of the organization. 13, institute a vigorous program of education, okay, and self-improvement for everyone. The best way is self-improvement. You feel that you are a lot of weaknesses, you have to improve yourself. In Islam, we call it muhasabah diri. We muhasabah diri kita kan. If we know that we have a lot of weaknesses, so improve. Have to improve. Then the last one, the 14 Deming's point is put everybody in the company to work accomplishing the transformation. Everybody, not the top person, not the middle managers, not the lower managers, everybody in the organization. Okay, can we go to the next slide? The next slide is the Juran. Juran is another person, the gurus of total quality management. He is Dr. Joseph Moses Juran. He revolutionized the Japanese philosophy. 2% that will call upon to Japan to improve their quality management. One is Deming. The other is Joseph Juran. He is a quality management expert. Helped to shape up the Japanese economy. Was the first to incorporate human aspect of quality management. Human aspect of quality management. So the trilogy of explained by Juran, that one is the quality planning. Second is quality control. The third one is the quality improvement. So let me go to each of these from the next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, the first is quality planning. So what is the meaning of quality planning? Quality journey begins with planning. In any management, the first step is planning. We have to plan first. It's the fitrah. Fitrah is a natural of anybody in this world. Open the eyes in the morning, you have already planned something. Okay, you plan to what to eat for your breakfast, what to do until you sleep at night. Sometimes you in your sleep also you plan something. So it's a normal for everybody that plan for their own future. So quality journey begin with planning the activities that need to be done to adhere or to follow the vision and mission of the goal. Nowadays, every organization have the vision, mission, and goals. So when we plan the quality, we have to adhere or to follow to the vision and mission and goals. Sometimes organization, kalau in Malay dia kata shock sendiri ya. Shock sendiri mean dia buat tapi dia tak tengok dia, he's not looking into the vision and mission and the goal. So it's go haywire lah, not go to the right path or the right way. So when we plan, we have to see and study the vision and mission. Can we change the vision? Yes, we can change the vision. If the vision we cannot achieve or we have already achieved after 5 years, so we can change the vision. Tapi mission and goals sometimes is stick. Okay, so to comply with the customer and compliance requirements. So quality planning comprises of what? The understanding of the customer. We have to know. UKM have to know what is the customer like, what is the student like. Okay, Universiti Negeri Padang, I think I understand. We should know what is their student needs. Okay, the determining their needs. Number 3, defining the products. What is the product for Universiti Negeri Padang? What is the product from UKM? What is the service features in UKM? It's not the same. UPKM, Universiti Malaya, it's the same area in Lembah Kelang, Kelang Valley, but the features is different. The specification is different because different universities have different organizations has different service they're being offered, and product from Universiti Malaya and UKM and Universiti Padang is different. That is the unique of the organization. Designing the product service, devising the process that when enable to meet the customer need. The second one is the quality control, please. Okay, the quality control. So when the process are defined, the responsibility is now with the operation. How you want to implement it. Just now, before this, in one of the two keynote speaker, this question is how to implement it. Implementation is one of the things. So plan, do, check, and do. Plan, check, act. Check we do, but the act we don't do. Sometimes in organization, in many countries, don't litter, fine 500 ringgit. $500. Jangan buang sampah, denda 500. Tapi dekat situ lah orang buang sampah, mana orang nak dendanya? Mana orang yang nak denda dia? Jadi orang pun tak takut kan. Basically dia punya implementation is not very good. That is why we have to improve in the implementation. So what we have to do in quality control, periodic check. Check semakan secara berkala, secara periodik, and inspection to be done. Somebody have to inspect it. That's why we have supervision by inspectorate of school, supervision by quality management teams. Because what? Because want to know what we plan, we do or not. Okay, to ensure the process is in control and meet specification, and the metrics needs to be in target. Okay, and wherever there is defect, when we found defect in quality management, sometimes we got non-conformant reporting, NCR, non-conformant reporting. Kita dapat teguran tidak patuh, laporan tidak patuh. So kita kena what? Kita kena correct and prevent from action to be done lah. Sebelum dia berlaku lebih teruk lagi, kita kena buat correction, langkah correction, step and preventive action need to be done. Cannot sweep under the carpet. We know that there's a problem. We have to handle the problem. We have to do correctly and prevent it from doing it again. So the process of audit also needs to be monitored. Sometimes we do auditing, but what we do with the report, that is one thing. We already been dapat ditegur kerana ada langkah-langkah yang tidak betul dalam kita punya organisation. What we do with the report? Do we improve it? In educational administration, sometimes we call what we call in medical with
Evaluation maybe, Prof.
Yeah, evaluation and all that. But what we do with the evaluation? What we do in education? Sorry, just remember the word postmortem. Postmortem in our organization. Postmortem in medical term, when people have already died, then we do the postmortem to see what is the cause of the death. But in our organization, sometimes we don't do the postmortem rightly. We just enjoy, kita meraihkan lah kejayaan menjalankan sesuatu, tapi kita tak dapat punca kelemahan tu. Can I use both language?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Next slide, please. Next slide is the quality improvement in Juran punya trilogy. So, however robust the process design and the product features are, there's a chances that it may fail to meet customer requirement and design target. Why? We are human. We cannot say we are perfect, totally perfect, that we can do all the things that we want to do it, because there's maybe due to changes in scenarios. Like now, we are facing the pandemic COVID-19. So what we planned 2 years before, we cannot actually implement it because we have the COVID that menahan kita daripada menjalankan perkara-perkara yang nak kita lakukan. So it's due to scenarios, maybe customer requirement, maybe other forces lah, market, okay, yang menyebabkan kena tukar kan. So quality improvement ni kena fikir selalu lah. It's ongoing lah. Not saying that okay, I plan this year, next year we'll do this. No, maybe we have to revisit again. Okay. So the role of quality improvement is to identify and prove the need of improvement from the existing performance level. Even though they meet the target and devise mean and way to achieve the new target, because when we achieve the target, there's always a new target will come. There's always a new target will come. Okay, we achieve 100% of our student, but next year maybe the same way we cannot achieve the 100% student achievement because maybe there's something else lah. Like now, we would like all students to graduated, but some of the students cannot collect data because problem with the COVID. They cannot collect data, they cannot interview, they cannot people don't jawab dia soal selidik dia. Okay, dia punya instrument, because people are doing things in their work from home. A lot of things to do. It's more hectic. Work from home from doing work from in the office. Sometimes you work until at night. You don't remember that you are working from morning to night because you're working at your home. When you go to the office, 5 o'clock already finished. You can go back, okay, and relax and do other things. But working from home, sometimes until late at night also, you don't remember that you are working. That sometimes affect the quality improvement. Okay, the next slide. Here, an attempt to identify the basic element of TQM, human and person perceive TQM as the way of what Crosby, what Deming, and Feigenbaum, and Ishikawa, and Juran. Ishikawa gambar raja ikan kan, macam ikan tu. Jadi badan dia akan rosak kepada kepala dia. Jadi kepala sangat penting lah. Itu sebab in many organisation, the top gun is important. The top person in an organisation important. Macam ikan, kalau kepala rosak, habis satu badan ikan rosak kan. Selalu kita beli dekat pasar, tengok apa? Kepala dah mati ikan kan. Itu menunjukkan bahawa Tuhan bagi kita, tunjukkan bahawa dalam mana-mana organisasi, kepala sangat penting lah. Pemimpin tu sangat penting lah. Sebab dia akan membawa kepada keseluruhan organisasi. So in their opinion, TQM is now an holistic and organization-wide approach based on 3 fundamental principles. Customer orientation, okay, kita mesti bergantung kepada customer, okay, and then process orientation, the process is important, okay, that's why we call teaching and learning process. It's not teaching and learning, the process is important, the input is important, the transformation is important, okay, and it's a continuous improvement. It's not that okay, we improve, we don't improve anymore next year. It's a continuous process. Okay, so next slide, please. So the 8 element of TQM before I go to digital leadership, my talk is divided into 2. The number 1 is TQM, but it's interrelated. The 8 element of TQM, the first one is strategic and systematic approach. We have to know developing an effective people's strategy requires both strategic and systematic approach. You cannot work as a silo. You cannot work as a department. In the school, every department in the school works for the kejayaan or the excellence of the school. It's not that, okay, you come from this department from the school, bahasa, you come from the science section or department of the school. The whole school, when you, Ibu Sari, saya akan tanya you datang daripada mana, universiti mana? You akan cakap Universiti Negeri Padang, betul?
Yeah.
You are bringing the Universiti Padang name, is it?
Yeah. Actually, I'm from early childhood education study program, Prof.
Yeah. But first, people will ask you, you are from which universities?
Yes.
Not your area, kan? People will ask you, you are from which university? Puan Sari Dewi, or Ibu Sari Dewi. I'm from Universiti Negeri Padang. Like myself, I'm from UKM, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. People don't ask me from which faculty first. People will ask first the systemic approach. What is the whole organization? Then only you will say that, okay, from which faculty, from which department, and what area you are from. So that is what we say, the strategic side. The strategic side is more creative. We have to know that. The strategic side make people more subjective, more creative, and focus on the big picture. Helicopter view of the organization. Okay. Whereas the systematic side is more logical. The systematic side is logic to do this. The objective of doing things, then emphasize on the part. So in the 8 element of the TQM, the first is strategic and systematic approach, looking more creative and looking at the whole organization. Okay. The second one is continual improvement. That one is, everybody knows, meaning that you have to improve gradually. Gradually, sikit-sikit, every day ada improvement lah. And then customer focus on the customer. Okay. total employee involvement, everybody involved in the planning and the implementation, okay, of the target or the aims of organization. And we have also integrated system, a system that's combined different functions together in order to work as one entity. You cannot work as a silo. You have to work as one entity, as a one organization. That is integrated system. So the other one is process-centered. Before we say teacher-centered in education, next ialah what you call student-centered. Now is the process-centered. It's the learning-centered in the education. What is the meaning of the teaching and learning? What did they learn? The student learn. So process-centered, the fundamental part of TQM is focus on process thinking. What do you think? How people think? How people solve problems? Okay, a process of series of steps to take input from internal to external. And the second last is fact-based decision making. Don't make decision without any facts. Aristotle also says that. Don't make conclusion without gathering all the facts right. Sometimes we make decision without the process of decision making. Just make the decision without memikirkan dia punya baik buruk dia lah. Kena ada facts dia. So the lastly is in 8 element of TQM is communication. Okay, so communication is the part is where we can do all these things lah. Okay, next slide. Okay, just now I already said it's a continuous improvement in Japanese philosophy. It's an approach to creating continuous improvement based on idea that small ongoing positive changes akan menghasilkan major improvement. Kadang-kadang think big but no improvement. It's better do it small but it's ongoing. And we improve the organization. Sometimes kadang kepikir besar, nak buat besar-besar, tapi hasilnya tak ke mana ataupun hasilnya kecil. Lebih baik buat kecil-kecil tapi hasilnya besar. Itu lebih baiklah dalam Kaizen. Next slide please. So Kaizen based on cooperation and commitment. Okay. And stand in contrast to approach that radical changes or top-down edicts to achieve proclamation issued by a person in authority lah. Edicts ni maknanya orang yang authority tu yang nak changes tu. Tapi sebenarnya dia mesti perlu kepada komitmen seluruh organisation. Bukan bos saja nak bagus. Semua nak bagus. Macam tu boleh. Itu Kaizen. Kaizen is a philosophy that seeks improvement in productivity as a gradual and methodological process. Ada cara dia, method dia kena ada. Proses tu kena ada method dia. It make the work environment more efficient and effective. So 5 founding element dalam Kaizen, dalam total quality ni, termasuk Kaizen ni ialah teamwork, personal discipline, improve moral, quality circle. Quality circle maknanya a group of employee who meet regularly to consider ways of resolving problem. Ada orang yang fikir, berbincang dalam quality circle ni. Bukan seorang saja. Ada team dia yang circle dia lah yang improve the output. And last is the suggestion for improvement. Dulu in organisation banyak kan kotak-kotak cadangan. Pergi mana-mana organisation, kotak cadangan. Sekali tengok buka dalam dia kertas, sampah, coklat punya wrapper. Sebab orang tak appreciate kan suggestion kan. Sekarang tak perlu tu. Terus email sajalah. Email bos lah. Email menteri pun boleh. Email Perdana Menteri pun boleh. Sebab kita tahu email dia kan. Kadang-kadang nombor telefon dia tahu, letak tu suggestion kat atas. Okay. Itu dia Kaizen. So pergi kepada the next one second part lah, if I have got a lot of time. Okay, is what we call, next slide please. Okay, facing digital era. So TQM, digital era, is continuous improvement. So educational institutions should always be prepared for all the changes in challenging in digital way. We are living in digital areas, digital era now. Leaders of today educational institution must always have effective planning and precise preparation that transcends the boundary, melampaui boundaries of education to face the digital world. Tak boleh elak. Nak tak nak pun we are facing the digital way. Okay, digital era kan. According the latest empirical data of Eurobarometer survey ni is a public opinion survey, conducted regularly on behalf of the European Commission. European Commission ni dia ada satu nama dia Eurobarometer, public opinion, orang bagi pandangan. It's a good dah lama ada dah. Euro institution ni, Eurobarometer ni daripada tahun 73 ni. This survey address the wide variety of topical issue relating to European Union tapi kita boleh gunakan sebagai rujukan. Okay, is the largest database. What the Eurobarometer survey says, digital technology has been proven as being beneficial in economy. Tak boleh elak. To improve in any country economy, you have to have the digital technology because has offered the privileges in people everyday life. Buka mata saja we are using the digital technology, our telephone, our handphone, our laptop and all this, our smart TV and all this. So the next slide please. Okay, so digital technology. Okay, digital technology, all right, are part of a new knowledge infrastructure that is now steadily integrated in everyday life. Jadi digital technology is the latest changes now. People are saying 4IR and all that. That is digital technology, especially now during COVID-19 pandemic attack in the whole world. So I would like to share in Malaysia in 2019, we are already, the government, the Ministry of Education has introduced the ICT Transformation Plan 2019-2023 for the 5 years, which was launched to support the digital education. Alhamdulillah, 2019 dah ready lah. Sebelum COVID 2020 dah launch this ICT for the digital education agenda in Malaysia. So I don't want to talk because long aspect we have to talk that I think there's 10 model in this ITP mod plan in Malaysia 2019-2023 transformation plan. So the next slide. So basically in Malaysia, I'm sharing that we are already ready for the digital world. So in America, the digital leadership in education, we have that International Society for Technology and Education, or ISTE, has issued a digital leadership standard for administrators. So we are the administrators. We are administrators, management, managers. So they have already in US the ISTE standard for administrators, or ISTEA. Okay, namely, first is the visionary leadership. Administrators, if we refer to this ISTE, a good digital leader must have a visionary leadership. Okay, administrators inspire and lead development and implementation of set vision for comprehensive integration of technology to promote excellence and support transformation throughout the organization. I think most of the organization, the leaders now has vision they want to achieve. Most of the leaders, most of the organization have vision on their own. The second one in the ISTE is the digital era learning culture. Administrators must create and promote and sustain a dynamic and digital age learning culture, budaya pembelajaran digital, that provide a rigorous, relevant and engaging education for all students. Kadang-kadang blessing in disguise, COVID-19 blessing in disguise, because we cannot go to the school, we cannot go to the universities, we are using totally digital era, digital instrument, platform in teaching and learning. That is the blessing in disguise in the COVID era. Okay, the third one, next slide please. The third one, the excellence in professional practice. Administrators must promote an environment of professional learning community, and innovation that empower educators to enhance to the learning through infusion of contemporary technologies and digital resources. Alhamdulillah, banyak negara banyak organisasi yang using professional learning practice ni, okay, in schools, okay, in universities and higher education. The fourth one is systemic improvement. Administrator provide digital leadership and management to continuously improve the organization through effective use of information. Sometimes we have handphone, but we use handphone for WhatsApp only. So what is the best? So we have to do what the features in the handphone are giving us. So we have to know the other things beside WhatsApp, okay, beside Telegram, beside using social media. So the handphone is like a moving library. I think people studying now is much more easier than before, because before we have to go to the library and search for literature, but now just click from your fingertips only. Okay. The fifth one is digital citizenship. Administrator model and facilitate understand of social, ethical, and legal issues. Okay, because responsibility related to involving digital culture. Okay, people now is what we call sebagai digital native. Our children are digital native because they are born in the digital age. So they have to know what is right, what is wrong when using the handphone and all the application in the digital. So next slide, please. Okay, now what we know in digital leadership. Okay, digital leadership refers to integration of portfolio of technologies, tools, and instruments. Like what? Like Internet of Things, IoT. Okay, the Internet of Things refers to what? To a system of interrelated internet connection. Okay, the object that able to collect or transfer data over a wireless network. Okay, that is Internet of Things. We have hardware, software, cloud, cellular, 3G, 4G, 5G, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. That is Internet of Things. We have gateways, we have modem, we have routers, not wireless, without any wire. Okay. The second one is artificial intelligence. Everybody knows, it's intelligence demonstrated by machine, as opposed to natural intelligence. Okay. The other things is what we call as big data. So big data is a whole that trade ways to analyze. Okay, to analyze what? To analyze systemically, extract information from, and otherwise deal with data. Kita punya data boleh pergi ke komputer lain. Maklumat antara universiti, antara library dan sebagainya. And lastly, what we call machine learning. Machine learning in education is a form of personalized learning. It's a form of personalized learning that could be used to give each student an individual education experience. Self-paced learning, self-directed learning. It's more a machine learning. We are actually plan our way of learning for each student. Next slide, please. Okay, now I would to share, nak kongsi, ada beberapa research terbaru lah. Research terbaru daripada literature yang berkaitan dengan digital leadership ni. Satu yang telah dibuat oleh Mat Rahimi, Mak Faiz dan Mak Yusri 2019 di Malaysia, digital leadership among schools leaders. Jadi their studies involve developing a measurement of model identifying the function and behavior of digital leadership on school leaders. School leaders dekat Malaysia lah. Dekat Malaysia. Jadi finding tunjukkan bahawa the findings found that succeeded in developing a digital leadership measurement model of school leaders by identifying the dimension, function and behavior of digital leadership of Malaysian school leaders. Jadi bila dia punya kajian ni, dia dapat jumpa ada two dimension. One is communication, the other is school climate in digital leadership. Okay, and in communication consists of several functions. Several functions in communication. People in Malaysia, in school leaders in Malaysia, in digital leader, using communication. What is the communication? Online file sharing, virtual meeting like we are doing now, virtual discussion, virtual information sharing, virtual communication. I think in Indonesia also are doing this also. If we do the research there, maybe we have the same data. We have that. Okay. In the second dimension is the school climate. The school climate budaya sekolah tu ada apa? A virtual promotion of school goal. Secara maya lah. Virtual promotion of development and professionalism sekarang. Pergi training, latihan secara maya kan. Virtual teaching and learning. Ni sekarang ni kita duduk rumah, kita mengajar student kita. Virtual monitoring of student performance. PhD, masters, supervision online. And then digital learning space. Digital learning space ni dalam dapatan kajian ini tak berapa nak elok sangat sebab tak ada peluang lagi sebab orang tak pergi. Orang tak pergi ke organisasi. So the next findings, the next research is digitalization and school leadership on the complexity of leading for organization in school. Ni berlaku dekat Sweden. Kajian ini dibuat oleh Kansen, Lichtwitz and Peterson. Okay. The purpose of their study was to explore how school leaders understand digitalization and digital competencies. Okay. And needed in the leading for the school in the organization. Okay. Jadi apa dia dapat dia? Dia dapat leading dapatan data ni kepada siapa ni? Kepada school leaders ni ada kategori-kategori digitalization. Pertama, kategori dia school leaders understand digitalization and digital competencies is setting the direction. Dalam setting direction ada 4 sub-team dia lah. Teaching for the future, school development, more efficient school organization, more than just technologies. The second category is developing people, professional development for leading, okay, and all that lah. And then number 3 is developing the organization, develop towards the digitalization. And number 4 is developing teaching and learning. Teaching and learning, creating condition for new form of teaching and learning, collegial learning. The third research, the next slide please. The third research, just a glance of that. The research in leadership types of digital leadership in higher education. This is in university in Greece, Antonopoulos, okay, and Hercules, the University of Patras in Greece. The main purpose of this study is to investigate the leading skill of head of university department, analyzing their point of view in the digital leadership and to analyze the leadership of type. So the data found that among others indicate that leadership outcome has strong positive correlation with transformational leadership. Digital leadership kebanyakannya mirip kepada transformational leadership. And the higher degree of transformation coexist with the implementation of digital leadership. Jadi dia tak banyak beza digital leadership dengan transformation leadership. Daripada data ni ada digital skill yang perlu ada. The research participants were asked to list the digital characteristic and they exploit and consider more necessary for leader. Mereka kata leader kena ada social media punya digital skill. 17 orang daripada 26 orang ni kata 28 head ni dekat mesti pandai social media, mesti pandai cloud computing, mesti pandai mobile apps, kan? Mesti pandai web development and tools. Yang lain tu tak berapa penting sangat. So the last research I'm sharing with you, okay, is the number. Please click the slide, please. Okay, the research on the effect of principal digital leadership on teachers digital teaching during the COVID pandemic in Malaysia. This research is done from UKM. Okay, there is the team. The main purpose of this study is to identify the level of digital leadership displayed by the principal and the level of teacher digital teaching practice. Okay, and the element of principal digital leadership that predicts the level of teacher digital teaching. About 400 secondary school teachers were involved di Hulu Langat in UKM area. Okay, you see the table number 3. All high level means score tinggi. Visionary leadership high, digital era. Maknanya dekat Malaysia ni tinggi lah orang. Amalan pengetua dan amalan cikgu menggunakan digital ni tinggi. The overall dia. Okay. Tapi ada juga benda-benda yang kita kena fikirkan balik. Walaupun tinggi, tapi masalah-masalah dia, the problem encounter must have the to have the. One of the problem in this research is teachers are less likely to agree that principal channel information related to construction of strategic planning to the teachers. Dia tak share. Kadang-kadang pengetua, pemimpin tertinggi itu dia tak share. Dia memang support. Tetapi dia tak share maklumat strategic planning yang dia nak buat dengan orang bawahan dia, dengan teachers dia. Okay, ni 4 dah. Dapatan kajian. So last, next slide. I think the last slide. Can we click last slide, please? Okay, for myself, the conclusion for my presentation, the role of total quality management and digitalization has increased in importance in both curriculum and the management of any organization. So a successful implementation have to be and hope for improve of student outcome to be linked to a digital leadership approach and total quality management in educational management. So leading for digitalization and total quality management including systematic change in structure. Kena ubah structure, kena ubah culture, budaya, kena ubah amalan. Dekat mana? In educational organization as part of digitalization. We cannot rasa selesa. Okay? It's a continuous quality improvement. So digital leadership is very important for this digital era because it is in integration of digital technologies. So I think I exceed the time now. So come back to moderator, Puan Sari Dewi.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. I would like to invite all the participants to give questions, but actually they put the questions on forum chat, Prof.
Yeah, chat. Basic.
Okay. The first questions delivered to questions from Prof. Nur Hizragis Tituati. One of the model to improve the quality is the plan to do check action. If not change, it will be fatal. So taking the first step of the change, according to you, Prof, what do you think about this term?
The question regarding plan, do, act, is it?
Yes, Prof.
It's a normal in many organizations that we do this cycle. Okay, we have to plan, we have to check, we have to do, and we have to act. But how far in any organization the process or the procedure is being done, totally being done the right way? Sometimes when we plan, we don't plan strategically. We know that there's we know that in many organizations there's the strength, there's the weaknesses, then there's the opportunity, and also the challenges. To make it better, you have to reconsider what you have each year. Sometimes the weaknesses already been overcome, and sometimes the strength are different now in today's world. That's why we have to do it gradually, and we have to do it selalu buat lah. Basically selalu buat. Tak bolehlah kita dah plan, kita check, do and act, that's it. No need to look back to the first step. Maybe in the planning we didn't consider the input in the organization. Nowadays, maybe the keuangan, monetary, duit, it's not enough like before. The budget is lower now because many government, many countries don't have enough money because they are facing the COVID and all that. So we have to replan, we have to recheck, we have to redo and to react to all this so that we can achieve what we are already we are facing now. It's not that it's a one-shot business. It's not a one-shot business. You have to reconsider it gradually and reconsider, replan it again based on what the input already giving us. The other part is the implementation. The implementation is the major concern. Sometimes we plan strategically, but we don't implement strategically. We just do it because we want to do it. Because in organization we have the strategic planning, we have the tactical planning. We have the strategic planning. We plan strategically, but tactically we don't consider what is that strategic we have already wrote down. Okay? Yang mana kita dah fikirkan secara strategik tu, tetapi secara taktikalnya kita tak buat ikut apa yang telah kita gariskan dalam strategi tu. Kan? Strategi means apa? Means tahu kelebihan kita. What is our competitive kelebihan kompetitif tu lah. That is my answer lah. So basically kena fikir balik lah. Down the road kena fikir balik. Sama ada kadang-kadang buat tu betul ke ikut plan yang telah dirancang secara strategik. Okay, ada lain soalan?
Thank you, Prof. The second question is from Rafikah Basri. He asks about how is the way to implement the quality management at school, especially in elementary and secondary school, Prof.
Okay, firstly we have to have a team. Like I'm saying, macam saya share apa yang berlaku bila saya pegang jawatan ketua pengurusan kualiti. Memang is a hard way untuk jalankan total quality ni. Sebab kita kena dapatkan buy-in tu. Buy-in tu maknanya orang setujulah nak jalankan benda tu. Terutama kalau dia ada when we are in lower preschool and primary school, the level that we are doing it is not the same with the secondary school. So you have to do it it's not TQM total, but one area in the school. Which part of that management that we are doing? Maybe you are doing quality management in the examination first. You are doing quality management in registering student. Maknanya total quality dekat sekolah prasekolah dengan sekolah rendah tak bolehlah nak buat seluruh sekolah tu. Sebahagian daripada proses. Contohnya ambil dulu pendaftaran pelajar dulu. Okay. Cara kita gunakan quality management ni, do what you write what you do. Tulis apa yang you buat apa yang you tulis. Jadi katakanlah ada cara untuk sebelum ni pendaftaran pelajar prasekolah atau di sekolah rendah tak baik. So ambil satu part dulu. Jangan buat besar-besaran satu sekolah, sebab kalau dekat Malaysia pun kadang-kadang bila buat total quality ikut sini tak berjaya juga. Sebab kita tak boleh buat semua sekali. Kita buat satu. In my faculty, total quality mula-mula kita buat examination dulu. Kemudian pengurusan siswazah. Cara dia kan, kita tak buat manage total quality for the whole faculty. Satu bahagian dulu, mula-mula syllabus kursus dulu. Performa kursus lah, syllabus kursus kena ada. So nombor satu, and then baru buat file quality. And then baru buat arahan kerja for the particular element saja, not the whole one lah. So stage by stage. My answer is do it stage by stage, and which part of the process that you want to do the quality management. Don't do it overall. Do it part by part first. After registration, maybe after that is the examination process. Macam mana dapat soalan periksa, prosesnya berjalan ikut turutan ataupun tidak, dan kemas ataupun tidak. Okay? Ada soalan lain?
Thank you, Prof. The third question is about digital leadership, Prof.
Okay.
We also need digital leadership in developing the organizations. According to you, is it the main aspect to be fulfilled, or is there any main aspect that need to be considered?
Okay, let me share you what happened in Malaysian environment. When we face the COVID-19, we have to do the work from home, study from home, teaching and learning from home. We forget to remember that our student, not all our students have the facilities. Maybe the student have the laptop, the computer, but the networking is not there. The line is not okay. That one is the infrastructure. Infrastructure, okay. Infrastructure means we have the classroom, we have the lab, but when people work from home, not all are in Indonesia is the same, because we have the luar bandar, pedalaman. Pedalaman tak sama facility dia dengan bandar in town area, in city. So in Singapore is okay because it's a city state. The whole Singapore is a city. But in Malaysia, in Indonesia, you go out from the city is already outskirts of the city. Sometimes it's a village where they don't have the internet line. And sometimes, like myself, I request for 450 megabytes per second. But when I test, the internet line is 70 megabytes per second. How I want to teach with the video and sharing all that if my line is only 70 megabytes per second? But I'm paying to the internet provider for the 450 megabytes because you have to consider the what? The modem, the router, the mesh, the instrument that you're using that. And that you have to consider first. The facilities is all there or not? And if you have in a family 10 children, basically if the brother, the elder brothers in university, second sisters in university, and then there 3 more brothers in a secondary school. So how we want to share that if you only have one handphone or one laptop? Everybody are fighting to use the laptop. It's not like the pen, everybody have the pen or the pencil, but in a digital era, if you want to study in the digital era, you have to have the alat lah, kena ada instrumen dia. Jadi instrumen tu kadang-kadang ada guna tapi kadang-kadang line tak bagus. Facility tak bagus. Jadi tak boleh guna sebaiknya. So basically bila some country lah, bukan yang kata semuanya, tapi ada some country is okay, tak ada masalah. Facility-nya ada, government dia bagi duit, bagi kepada anak-anak kampung, anak-anak bandar ni semua ada facility, ada line yang bagus. Tapi some country tak ada benda tu. Jadi bila some country tak ada, macam lah vaksin kan. Some country beli vaksin ada duit, some country tak ada duit nak beli vaksin. So ketinggalan. So macam mana? So kalau itu keadaannya, dia punya infrastruktur dia kena, infra dan infrastruktur dia kena cukup lah. Supaya playing field dia sama. Laman permainan dia sama. So baru kita boleh digital. So it's a gradual lah. Gradually sekarang kita simpan duit untuk belikan untuk anak-anak kita telefon yang bagus, laptop yang bagus, supaya sama-sama dapat gunalah. Tak ada orang yang ketinggalan. But still in any country, the deprived society ada orang yang akan ketinggalan. Basically akan ada orang yang ketinggalan. So kita nak minimize margin tu. Tak mau banyak sangat yang ketinggalan lah. That's the best way lah. So upgrade the facility first. Upgrade the line first. Upgrade the service provider first. Then only we can say we can digitize the whole country. Okay. Any more questions?
The last questions, Prof. According to you, is there any practical ways to improve good quality of education, especially the way how to develop good digital leadership?
So I think three points that is important for any person to improve that. Number one is the knowledge. You have to have a good knowledge. You have to understand what is digital era, what is digital leadership, what is called by digital citizenship, what you call by digital warga negara digital. Jadi kita kena ada knowledge tu. Number one, we have to have the knowledge. We have to have the pengetahuan. The second one is the skill. Sometimes we have the knowledge, but we don't have the skill. We know, but we don't know how to do. Bila berlaku sesuatu kerosakan, kita pun jam, tak boleh buat kerja kan. So skill kena penting. Skill kena ada. And then lastly is the attitude towards digitalization. We have to have a positive attitude toward digitalization. So knowledge, skill, and attitude, the right attitude toward digitalization. Then only we can improve ourselves. Don't say that we have the knowledge but don't have the skill. So we have to go to training and do it. Selalulah buat benda tu, gunakan selalulah. Kalau tak gunakan selalu, tak guna juga. So that's it lah. Ibu Sari Dewi.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Thank you very much for your best contribution, Prof. We learned something new from you this afternoon, and to all of the participants who already contribute with a very brilliant ideas and questions. Thank you. And in this moment, we would like to give you a certificate as appreciations.
Digital certificate.
Yes, Prof. So now in Malaysia, still lockdown, Prof?
It's phase 4 now. Phase 4 means we can go to other state. Before we only in our own state only. Now we can go, like myself in Selangor, I can go to Perak or Johor. It's a phase 4, but because the percentage of vaccination is high now, but we still have to follow the SOP. Social distancing, sanitizing, and all that. So what about Indonesia?
Yeah, for now it's still difficult to go abroad because we need some letter and also some agreement from our country, because we have some regulations, international flight, and also some countries is closed or lockdown, so we couldn't go everywhere freely as usual.
Yeah, I miss to go to Padang.
Yeah. I hope we could meet face-to-face meeting next.
Yeah.
Prof.
I went to University Andalas, and before this, the Wali Kota invite me to give training for the Kepala Sekolah for change management, the Wali Kota of Padang. I think in 2000, way back 2016, 2015, that last I went to Padang.
Prof, so far, is there any mobility from your campus to another institutions, especially maybe staff mobility or student mobility?
Oh, yes. We can
Pandemic
do that.
situation?
Yeah, we can do that. But before that, maybe we have to look into any MOA or MOU between Faculty of Education Padang, Universitas Negeri Padang, and Faculty of Education UKM. I think they have already the MOU between these universities. We can work through that. We look into that. Maybe there's already the MOU understanding that we can have exchange student, visiting lecturers, okay, between both our universities.
Wow, that's a good moment. Yeah.
Because I think your rector, Prof. Ganafri, is our ex-student, our alumni.
Yes.
Faculty of Education. Yeah, Prof. So kirim salam lah pada Prof Ganafri.
Okay, Prof. And our committee would like to give you
Thank you very
certificate.
much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Yeah,
your
thank
coming
you.
and best contribution, Prof.
Thank you very much, Pansari Dewi. Thank you, Dr. Salastri, sorry.
Selastri, Prof.
Yeah, Dr. Salastri. Good job. Well done, huh? Good job. Thank you,
Iya,
Ibu
terima kasih
Sarah
banyak.
Terima kasih, Tania ya.
Iya, Prof. Terima kasih.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, actually we still have one more schedule. That is Professor Branislav Upala, PhD. Deep apologize for this inconvenience because now she was still under recovery of whole serious illness problem. 3 days ago, she has a heart attack, so she couldn't join us. But he already sent his PowerPoint to us, and the committee would like to share the PowerPoint to all the participants and the presenters. And also thank you for your coming and joining this program. Mohon maaf Bapak Ibu, kita masih ada satu sesi lagi seharusnya, karena 3 hari yang lalu saya menerima informasi bahwa Prof sedang berada pada keadaan yang tidak memungkinkan untuk hadir karena beliau terkena serangan jantung. Jadi mari kita berdoa semoga beliau segera pulih kembali. Terima kasih atas kehadirannya. Saya kembalikan kepada MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last agenda of the day. We would like to say thanks very much to all distinguished guests, distinguished speakers, distinguished lecturers, and all participants.
And also thank you very much for all keynote speakers, and we are highly appreciated for your attendance and participation during the first day of PSEMA 2021. Professor Dr. Sunario, Professor Nur Hijrah, Professor Izam.
And I also would like to remind the all participants, because this is the first day of PSEMA, and tomorrow is the second day for PSEMA, and we will be start by registration at 7:30 a.m. with our keynote speakers, 3-hour keynote speakers, and don't miss it. And after that, we follow by parallelization. So thank you so much for the all participants, and I do apologize if I do mistaken, and I'm Rini Aprilianda and my partner
Rifa Yolanda.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you tomorrow. Thank you.